Hi, and welcome to Cenario, your partner in mental wellness. Here on our channel, we share educational, insightful, and science-backed content to help you understand your mental health and take meaningful steps toward a more balanced life. If you're ready to learn, grow, and take control of your wellness journey, let's jump right in.
When it comes to mental wellness, a lot of us are looking towards nature. And it makes sense, right? But what does the science actually have to say about natural antidepressants? Well, that's exactly what we're going to dig into today. So if you've ever found yourself wondering about natural ways to support your own mental well-being, you are definitely not alone. It's a huge and growing conversation. But this whole journey brings up a really big question.
And that is why. Why are so many of us looking for alternatives, beyond the typical conventional treatments?
Well, it really boils down to this central trade-off. On one hand, you've got conventional antidepressants. They can be incredibly effective for a lot of people, no doubt about it. But there's also the risk of side effects, things like weight gain or insomnia, and that's a genuine concern for many. So it's totally understandable why people start exploring natural options, right? They're often seen as a safer, more holistic way to go. Okay, so with that in mind, which of these natural remedies actually have the science to back them up? Let's take a look at the evidence for some of the top-tier players. First up, we've got a real classic, St. John's wort. This herb has been on the scene for centuries. And what's cool is that modern science is actually backing up what people have known for a long time. It can be effective for mild to moderate depression. In fact, some studies show it performs just as well as SSRIs, which, are a super common type of prescription antidepressant. So yeah, the evidence for it in those mild to moderate cases, it's pretty strong. But, and this is a huge but, there's a really critical thing you have to know about it. It can have some major drug interactions. And I really can't stress this enough. St. John's wort can seriously interfere with other medications. This is absolutely not something to mess around with or guess about. You have to talk to your doctor or a healthcare provider to make sure it's a safe choice for you personally. All right, moving on, let's talk about omega-3 fatty acids. We all hear about them for our general health, right? But their role in our brain function is what's really key here. The thinking is that their anti-inflammatory power can help keep our mood regulated. Now, the evidence for this is what we'd call moderate. So omega-3s seem to be best for milder symptoms and just boosting your overall health. The big takeaway here is to think of them as a supporting player, something you add to your routine, not necessarily the star of the show, especially for major depression. Okay, now for one that might surprise you, saffron. Yep, the spice. This ancient ingredient is making some serious waves in modern research for its potential to boost mood. And honestly, the findings are pretty darn compelling. The evidence for saffron is getting stronger and stronger, to the point where it's being seen as a real alternative to some antidepressants. And what's so fascinating is how it seems to work. The science suggests it might actually help modulate serotonin levels, which is similar to how some prescription meds do their job. How cool is that? And it doesn't stop with those three. The research is just exploding. We're seeing these really promising links with probiotics, that whole gut-brain connection. There's vitamin D, which can be a game changer if you're deficient. You've got lavender, known for its calming vibes, and even natural compounds like SAM that support mood regulation. But hang on a second. What if one of the most powerful natural antidepressants isn't something you swallow at all? Let's shift gears and talk about the power of movement. Because trust me, it's about way more than just physical health. This idea is at the heart of something called lifestyle medicine. It's basically the idea of using lifestyle changes, things like regular, intentional exercise, as a frontline treatment for chronic conditions. And guess what? Depression is absolutely on that list. And let me be clear, the science on this is solid. Exercise is a highly effective natural antidepressant. So effective, in fact, that its impact is often compared to conventional medications. Just let that sink in for a moment. That is an incredibly powerful statement. Okay, so we've got all these options on the table, from herbs and spices to just getting up and moving. The big question is, how do you actually put all this knowledge into practice in a way that's both safe and responsible? It really comes down to a three-step path. Step 1, do your homework. Really explore the evidence for anything you're thinking about trying. Step 2, take a look at your own personal needs. What's right for one person isn't right for everyone. And step 3, which is by far the most important, talk to your healthcare provider. Seriously, that's the only way to know for sure that what you're doing is safe and actually tailored to you. All right, before we wrap this up, let's tackle a few of the biggest questions and uncertainties that always seem to pop up when we talk about natural antidepressants. So, let's get right to it. After everything we've looked at, what are the most effective natural antidepressants according to the science? Okay, so based on the research we have right now, the top contenders are pretty clear. You've got St. John's wort for those mild to moderate situations. You've got omega-3s playing that awesome supportive role. And then there's saffron, which is really emerging as a powerful alternative. And that brings us to maybe the most critical question of all. Can these natural options just replace conventional medications altogether? The answer from the scientific community is pretty clear on this one. These options are at their best when they're used to complement other treatments. They're generally not recommended as a total replacement, especially if we're talking about major depression. The real goal here is to build an integrated, holistic plan, and that's something you have to do with a professional. So, after all that, what's the one thing you should really take away from this? It's that the path to mental wellness isn't a battle between natural and conventional. It's about integration. It's about using all the tools in the toolbox. When you understand the evidence, you're empowered to have a real partnership with your doctor, not try to work around them. So the real question to leave you with is this: how can you bring together the best of science and nature to build a strategy that's strong, safe, and...
Thank you for watching Cenario. If this video helped you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. For personalized mental wellness supplements, visit Cenario.com. See you in the next one.